once you start learning how to actually make money and you build something, then you diversify. I don't think you should really diversify until like you really have an income to where like, oh wow, I have too much money. I'd say like once you're making $30,000 a month and like you can live,
Hmm.
but then I'd still be like, okay, well, what do you want your company to look like? If anything, we take all that cash and go put it somewhere else. But
Hmm.
I still think you stay focused on the company.
So that's where I'm kind of split, okay? Because my mortgage company started growing really well, like really really quickly. And I'm going to tell you right now, the one of the things I've also learned, and a lot of people when we're doing deals, like, hey, but we have to hurry up and do this. The time shifts, okay? Something can happen if you're trying to encourage a customer to close a mortgage transaction. Why? Because their rate lock might expire and you can't control what rates happen when the rate lock expires, right? Much like you can't control financial markets. Okay. The month that I lost everything, okay, was going to be one of my greatest months in the mortgage industry. I was set to make 1.605, 1.6 million, $5,000 in commissions. That was, I had built up a $40 million pipeline. I was coasting. I was like, oh man, you know what? The end of the month is gonna be good. I don't need to do that right now. I got to the end of the month. We're good. Maybe the following month. I don't need to make all this money right now. Everything is going really well. And I didn't push that hard enough. And you know what happened? Who the fuck could have imagined Taylor Bean and Whitaker going down, Lehman Brothers going down? The whole financial market seemed to have stopped overnight. And $1.6 million in commissions went gone, disappeared.
Bro, that's
That's a
fucking
gut check.
insane. That is
That's
a gut check.
that's a gut check, bro. Because you know what? That's one of the things I also learned in my youth. Because I was 23 or 24 at the time. No, excuse me, I was 24 or 25 at the time, I believe. And spending money that you don't have, that was a life. That was a real gut check. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm set. I'm going to make X amount of dollars. Hey, it's time we get a nice little navigator. Hey, it's time we do this because everything's rocking and rolling. And I share this because you know what? There's a lot of people that I do business with, a lot of people I know that they talk about a lot of the good stuff, and a lot of people haven't even gone through any of the bad times. And I applaud people who haven't gone through that. However, I think that you're missing out on this experience, where the reality is, I think by watching podcasts like this or going to events, by learning from other people's mistakes is how you compress that time going, shit, I know the Strat's gone through this. I know that Rob's gone through this. I know that whoever has gone through this. Let me listen to this to avoid these kind of, these mistakes. I didn't have that, my whole investment career, my whole journey has been just trial and error. And honestly being stupid, it's a country song. You can't be wise. You can't be old and wise until you're young and dumb, or however
Yep.
the hell it goes. But that's me in a nutshell. I've been very young and very dumb for a long time. And the only reason I know half the things I do is just because I beat my head against the wall trying to figure it out.
Dude. And so you were pretty much spending all the money you could. Like you didn't care. You knew you had X
I
coming
was
in. You're like, bro, I'm going.
blowing money. Yeah, I was blowing money. I was having a great time. I wasn't making that kind of money. That was a big buildup. I mean, I was building. I was networking. Again, I built a $40 million pipeline that was just my pipeline, not my team's pipeline. That was my personal production. That was a mix of commercial and residential. It was just a gut check. So I go from losing absolutely everything to going, what the hell am I going to do? I mean, now I have got 4 kids. The market tanks. I was one of the first wave of foreclosures. I lost my first house. I was 23 years old when I bought it. I was 25 when I lost it. You know how depressing it is to have to move 4 kids. It was it's something that really pulls on like your man card. You kind of
Oh, yeah.
question everything. Like, what am I going to do right now? What am I going to do? And you know, it was a mass exodus from the industry. A lot of people left the mortgage industry, the real estate industry. We haven't even recovered, technically speaking, from the building collapse. So there's been, all the skilled labor left the workforce when the market tanked, and all these years that it took for the market to stabilize. We've had a 300,000 home per year deficiency just to meet our basic demand
Yeah.
because of the mass exodus of skilled labor. So a lot of people left, and I just couldn't fathom leaving because, again, I'm too stupid and too hard headed. Going, you know what? If I was going to make this kind of money and the market tanked and there's no light at the end of the tunnel, there's no way I'm going to get a job. I can't do this. Like I have to double down. I have to invest in myself. And I did that, and everything went really well again until it didn't. There was, this learning curves. I think, was it Russ Whitney was talking about, I think it was Russ Whitney, who talked about these mistakes. He started calling them seminars, in his life. And I thought it was a really interesting perspective, because you go to a seminar to learn. And if you fuck up enough, you have these failures. All you can do is treat them as a seminar, right? As a learning, a learning event in your life, to say, you know what, how can I adjust my sales to not do this again, right? Because if there was a mistake that could possibly have been made, oh, I made it. I've got no shame in saying it. I've made every single mistake possible. But adapt and overcome, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you keep, pushing yourself forward.